Hey, welcome back to YDG Cowboys, and of course, YDG stands for You're Doing Good Cowboys. Sub on the way to 1,000. Now, Jerry Jones decided to play Diggs, or they decided to activate him after his 24, or I think it was 24-hour window or something like that they had. But you now want to play Diggs now after we needed him last week in the game against the Vikings that we solely needed him. You now decide to activate Diggs. Right now, the game with the Chargers, it is 24-17 Chargers. Fourth quarter, started the fourth quarter. Looks like Pickens is playing a little better. Dak is playing well. Cerrone Revel's been picked on, but Cerrone Revels to me is kind of still hurt. He's playing with a knee brace. You cannot play corner with a knee brace. You just can't. But they stuck him out there early because they were so bad and needing corners. Diggs is playing well. They said a little bit he did whiff on a touchdown, but other than that, it is what it is. We should have played Diggs last week. They're still saying that Eberflus is still bad, calling a bad game, playing these stupid zones, even up there in the press box. So right now, guys, we don't know. We don't know. I think at this point, they need to play some players from the bench. We need to see what we got in Joe Milton. We need to see what we got in our running back, Jaden Blue. We need to see what we got in a lot of these players, Mafa, a lot of these players that are not getting any playing time. We need to see what we have, and let's go ahead and get ready for next year. And it's really, really hard. It's like a really hard pill to swallow when you say, let's go ahead and get ready for next year. Because of what the moves that we've made in the offseason that we cannot, that we didn't have, that we couldn't finish with. We made all these great moves with the George Pickens and the Quinnen Williams and the Kenny Clark and the Logan Wilsons and just all these moves that we made in the off season, and we still yet to get into the playoffs. I think at this point we need to go ahead and rip the Band-Aid off of Matt Eberflus. I don't know why did we hire even a guy that has a zone scheme and we have man scheme type players. It's just, I don't understand that point. To me, I don't know if Jerry really, I know he was more reactive this year because of what had happened with the Micah Parsons, him getting pissed off at Micah, not staying with the plan that they have, did a handshake deal. So he got pissed off with that, let his money get mad. Then he got pissed off with Trayvon Diggs, and Diggs told you for the last 3 weeks that he was ready to play. And come to find out, Trayvon Diggs was right. Matt Eberflus had one of the worst schemes that this team has ever seen. It's just crazy how he still has a job. And I think the really why he still has a job is because him and Jerry Jones at one point still are friends. That's the difference between a winning organization, as the Eagles would have fired him during midseason. The Chiefs would probably have fired him during midseason. Buffalo Bills probably would have fired him during midseason. That's the difference in the winning organizations compared to our organization that we have now, which is not a winning organization. That's what I said on the last segment. We need to get a football mind that we do not have. Jerry Jones needs to go ahead and turn over the rims, or turn over the actual GM part of football operations to a football mind. I think at this point he needs to, as far as a defensive coordinator, I don't know if I want White Cotton, but from what I hear, White Cotton is pretty good. White Cotton has some skins up under him. So, and White Cotton is pretty, I like the way, I guess he's okay. I'm not saying that I would probably want somebody with maybe a little bit more experience, but anything that we can get that's aggressive and know how to, or any defensive coordinator that's aggressive and know how to adjust during the game is what I want. Is exactly what I want. But we definitely need to go ahead and start rolling with that. Guys, I really do think that we have the actual players in order to have a great season next year. Now, there's a couple of things that I'm kind of considering. I don't know if I would give up 2 first-round picks to get a Max Crosby or a Myles Garrett. I would still probably go back at Cleveland, which I doubt they'll give him up, and I doubt the Raiders might even give him up. But if I was Max, the Raiders look like they're 5 to 6 years away. And Texas is not far from Las Vegas. So, I don't know. We do have some great defensive linemen, and we do have some pretty good defense players coming out in this year's draft. I heard the defense is pretty deep in this year's draft. So, we'll just have to see. But right now, guys, it's really, really hard for me. It is, as a fan, to even start thinking about the draft season with 3 weeks left and counting this week. Now 2 weeks left. So, but I guess you have to move forward, and that's what we're done. Because we've been officially eliminated with the Eagles winning last night, and I knew that was going to happen. There's no way the Eagles was going to go 0-3. There's no way. And it's just god awful for us not to even compete this year with the NFC so wide open. So wide open. Make sure you guys, you like, share, and subscribe. Sub on the way to 1,000. Guys, we've got so much to talk about with drafts, the players coming out, defensive coordinators coming out, or coming hopefully this way. It's just, hopefully we can get a defensive coordinator that can actually match Brian Schottenheimer, or let him pick it out. I also would like to have Brian Schottenheimer probably get an offensive coordinator to help him out in certain situations. Jerry really, really needs to dive deep this year in coaching staff. He really does. He needs to not be cheap about hiring his new coaches. He needs to go all out and pay for his coaches. From what I'm hearing, Jerry has been very, very conservative on his coaching contracts and how much he gives them. And if that's the case, that's the wrong way about it. We definitely need some really, really good coordinators. Offensive coordinators to help out with Brian Schottenheimer, and definitely a very, very aggressive man scheme coverage defensive coordinators. But guys, I hope everybody's well. Make sure you, again, sub on the way to 1,000. Happy Sunday. Hope everybody's well. Talk to you soon. And I hate that we got to talk about draft time. 30 years and counting. All right, guys. Talk to you soon. Peace.